still.
No, I wish.
Not yet. Soon. She has graciously invited us to her space, so we are so grateful for having us. Melinda is an attorney, and we send a lot of our we're not in business real estate related anymore, but we send all of our events, and we send anybody who's looking for an attorney to Melinda.
Thanks.
So thank you, Melinda, for being here. She's going to tell us a little bit about work-life balance as well. And I'm going to introduce our other two speakers. Idelis is also known as Liz. That's my name. Idelis, but you can also call her Liz. She is part of our group in Elite Builders, and she is our guru of all creative deals. She knows about sub to wholesale, cash offers, all of those really specialized deals. We send them to her. She has her own community where she helps real estate agents do deals, and she's helped so many partners make more money. So Idelis is going to show us how to make more money women's style. And then we have the queen. This is Carla. She's also my sister. Carla and her husband owned a real estate business for 17 years. They sold real estate, and they have now shifted into helping other realtors sell like so in their career, they sold over 2,000 homes, and now we have a community of over 500 agents. So
Tal vez lo podemos elevar un poco.
Excited to have you guys. I'm going to start the presentation. I'm going to give you guys a little overview of CRMs. I thought I would go first because sometimes people get a little overwhelmed with the CRM. We have a lot of limiting beliefs with our tech. I'm not techie. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Someone needs to do it for me. I'm never going to get it right, so I'm never going to try. So I'm going to go first, and I am going to give us a very simple just overview of the CRM. I'm actually going to log in and show you exactly what to do and how to do it. I'm just going to do like five things that you could do to your CRM today that will just give you that little level up to get going. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna take my little seat and jump right in.
Gabby, make sure the live stream is going.
Is it on? We gotta hit go live. Hi everyone.
Are we live?
I think so. It says so. I'm sure we'll get lots of text messages if people are like, we can't hear anything. Okay. So let's jump right into our CRM. And a lot of times, sorry, I have like a million things open. A lot.
Like our brains.
Yeah, like our brains. Okay, here we are.
Everyone close their tabs.
Don't show anybody the tabs. Anyway, a lot of times people ask me, what is the best CRM to use? What should I even be using? What is everybody using? What's the easiest? What's the best? And I tell everyone, the best CRM to use is the one you actually use. If you have a system and you absolutely detest it, every time you open it, you're like, this is the worst. I don't know what to do. It just aggravates you. It's not simple. If it's not simple, it's not the one. So we have a saying in our group. We always say, complexity fails, simplicity scales. So let's say that all together. Complexity fails, simplicity scales. Okay? So when people tell you like, what's your tech stack? how many automations are you going right now? It can feel like really overwhelming. So I'm not going to show you tech stacks. I'm not going to show you all of these overwhelming things. I'm just going to show you a few things to get organized, to create workflows, and to just get going. So the first thing we're going to talk about is follow-ups. So a lot of times realtors are like, I have such a hard time following up. I have such a hard time keeping up with my follow-ups. Things fall through the cracks. I talk to one person one day and then I forget about it. And I know that there's lots of money sitting in your CRM right now. And we're not making that money because we're not following up with those people. So every single CRM works exactly the same way. So I'm in Follow Up Boss right now, which is a really easy, simple CRM to use, and a lot of realtors like it. So I'm gonna just jump in. Okay, so can everybody see the screen? In this people category, can everybody see that? Should we close the blinds or turn off the lights, you think? No, everybody can see it. Okay, good. So in this people tab, you can make what's called smart lists. And these smart lists help you facilitate your workflow. So for example, the first smart list is today's leads. So you're gonna wake up in the morning, grab your cup of coffee, and you're gonna go to your smart lists. This is my daily workflow. I'm going to call first today's leads. The second, I may have tagged some people, follow up. These are the people that you left voicemails for, that you spoke to their spouse and said, oh, I have to call me back, I'm in the shower, or I have to speak to my spouse, or call me later. You're gonna tag them so that they go into your weekly leads, and these are the ones you're gonna follow up with until you convert them. Next, you might have a list called Nurture. These are your 30, 60, 90 days, right? They said, I'm not ready right now. Give me some time, or I need to do this in order to move. I'm making a job switch. You're going to change their stage to Nurture. I have 56 people in my Nurture, and now I can kind of go through this group on the monthly or on the weekly and check in with everybody. You can send them a little market update. You can send them a newsletter. You can give them a call and say happy birthday. You can deliver pies, whatever you do to prospect, to keep top of mind. Everybody has their own voice and their own way of doing things, but this way you have them all organized. Okay, so back to our groups. We have groups for probates. We did a lot of probates. We kept probates by county. So if you have leads like FSBOs or expireds, you can keep them all in a group and keep them organized until you convert them and start tagging them. Okay, this one I need to follow up. This one's a Nurture. It doesn't have to be super complicated. We had our probates by county, and I just want to show you, we have smart lists for everything. Listen, with 30,000 people in your database, if you don't organize your people, there is no way to get information out effectively and efficiently to certain types of people. So I have ladies, I have people that left me 5-star reviews. Now I have a whole group of people that I know love me, and I can ask them for referrals. So think about creative ways to organize your people so you can keep them and keep yourself top of mind. Any questions about smart lists? These are really easy to make. You use filters, you can tag people, you can change their stage, you can create custom fields, you can create groups for all of your deadlines. Oh, these are all my inspections of this week. These are all of the termite inspections that are happening this week.
whatever it is that you are managing, put them into a group and get super organized. You should have a group of actives and pendings. You should have a group of closings. You should have a group of past clients. Everybody should be super organized in a nice little group. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about are workflows. So a lot of times people say, I hit a wall. I did 20 deals this year and I cannot get to the 30, 40, 50 deals. And it's because you guys are trying to do everything yourself, but also remember every single thing you need to do for every single transaction. Imagine you have 5 appointments. You have 5 deals ready to go on the market. You have 5 on the market. You have 5 pending, and you have 5 ready to close. Can you remember every single thing you need to do for every single client? Absolutely not. So if you don't have a checklist for every stage of the transaction, then things fall through the cracks. You forget about things. Did I do that for that person? Or did this get done? And we don't want to rely on our memory. So one of the biggest game changers for us was actually creating the checklist first. And this was before ChatGPT, guys. We created our checklist before ChatGPT. And now you can literally write, I'm a realtor in South Florida. Create a checklist for me that starts from going to the appointment to getting my listing on the MLS. Tell me every single thing I need to do, and it will populate. So we should have a checklist for every stage of the transaction, but the game changer for us is that we actually implemented it into the CRM. So let's pretend Carla Novello is a lead. So I've changed her stage to lead, and I've called her, we chatted, and I converted her, and now I set an appointment. So in my CRM, I have the next stage as appointment set, and you'll see on the right-hand side, a checklist will populate. This is the magical checklist that will tell me exactly what I need to do every time I set an appointment. So we can go through this checklist. It's super short. We're going to send a bomb video that says, Carla, was so great chatting with you. I just wanted to put a face to the name. I'm Gabriella. I can't wait to see you at our appointment. Then we're going to call and confirm the appointment, because who has driven all the way to Palm Beach, knocked on the door, and nobody answered, or somebody said, oh, I meant to cancel. So we're going to call to confirm the appointment. We're going to prepare the CMA. We're going to prepare the seller net sheet. We'll follow up after the appointment. Maybe we'll tag them buyer seller. And then every checklist ends with the prompt to change the stage to the next stage in the transaction. And every stage has a checklist. Now you can start to delegate tasks. You can go on vacation. You can, exactly, right? You can have all of your stages in little groups, checking off your tasks as you go. Let's say I want to go on vacation. I say, Carla, can you go into Follow Up Boss and go into the pending group and check off all outstanding points on the checklist for me while I'm on vacation? She'll be like, yeah, sure, I can do that for you, right? You can hire a VA. Now that you have everything organized and mapped out for you, you can hire an assistant, a VA. This is the checklist. You can even make little Loom videos. This is how I like for each task to be completed. Watch the Loom videos, complete the checklist, and move on. This also gives you a lot of freedom in your team, right? Because you're not micromanaging your team now. You can say, hey, Carla, I see that there are a lot of open tasks on our checklist. Can you just go into Follow Up Boss and clean those up for me? And then also, if there's a task that's outstanding that you need help with, I'm open this afternoon to sit with you and help you with those tasks, right? So you're not micromanaging. You can see what tasks are open, what's complete, and you can talk to your team and see what they need help with. We can do this for anything. I have a whole other follow-up boss that is for onboarding agents onto our team. So my checklists look like application stage, onboarding stage, active stage, and each one has a checklist. So for Idelis, who's doing creative deals, she can have a totally different CRM than what I'm showing you now with creative deal checklists, different stages. Get creative, guys. Whatever business, how it fits for you, you can make the CRM work for you. Okay, so we did smart lists and we did our checklists. Let's talk about making things just a lot easier for ourselves. So real estate agents, they write the same emails over and over and over again. There's nothing new about it. Every single time you get a new client, you send them the pre-listing packet, whatever it is, it's the same thing. So if you guys don't have all of your email templates set and ready to go, so for example, you can go into send email, you can go to your templates, you have all these beautiful folders, and you have all of your emails already set. So the new listing goes to the listing coordinator, or you want to ask for a testimonial or a referral. Everything's already set. So you just click the email template and you send it away. The same thing goes for texts. All the text messages that I sent you guys to come to this event came through Follow Up Boss. It was actually me. I made a little template. I said, Idelis, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Don't forget, here's the address for the event. It's in the North Tower, 2nd floor. I didn't type it 45 times, guys. I made a template and I sent it to you guys through the database. So think about what we're doing on our daily administrative work. Is it super simple? Are we typing every single email from scratch? Or do we have all of our templates done, ready to go, boom, 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 set to kind of launch off? The other thing I want to show you is AM cards. And this will be the last thing. So we were like a transaction treadmill, like a factory. So we would take a listing, throw it over our shoulder, take a listing, throw it over our shoulder. And it became increasingly difficult to create long-lasting relationships with clients. And so we found this really great program called AM Cards, and it really took the shopping, shipping, writing hand cards to our clients, but still gave them gifts mailed directly to their home. So we created an SOP and a checklist around this, but when somebody signed a new listing agreement, we would send them a little gift. We would say, we can't wait for the journey. We're so excited. We would send them a little Starbucks gift card, and a handwritten note went to them in the mail. And then if they were super stressed, the deal was falling apart, whatever, the seller walked away, the buyer walked away, we would send them a little gift, movie tickets, and we would say, chill out. It's going to be okay. We got you. And then, of course, we would send them a closing gift at the end. So I would send them a closing gift, and then there's some seats over here. And then we would call them a week later, and I would say, hey, did you get the gift that I sent you in the mail? And they would be like, yes, we got it. And then I would ask them for a review. So how many of you have a checklist, an SOP around sending your clients really amazing gifts and then asking them for reviews? Anybody? Anybody? I want to tell you something. I would get gifts back. People would send me gift cards and handwritten notes back to me. And I was the client care coordinator. I actually didn't sell the real estate. Aaron was the one selling and doing all the work, and I was just calling and saying, did you get the gift? Ha, 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 ha. And they would send me a gift back. So I think gift giving, it's one of the 5 love languages, but it's kind of underrated. People think, I've heard people say, well, you're just buying a review. And it's like, no. People love when you think of them, when, in conversation, they say, oh, this weekend I'm going to go to the wine bar with my wife. And then you buy them a nice bottle of wine at the end of the transaction because they mentioned to you that they loved wine. They love that. They can feel the love through the gift. And I want you to think about, have you ever received a gift where people actually thought about the gift from your husband, spouse, partner, and you were like, oh my God, you thought of me. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So if you are physically shopping and shipping and handwriting notes, this AM cards goes directly into your database. You can create all sorts of templates. I created things for everything. Get well soon, condolences, congratulations, new baby. Thank you for the referral. You can add gifts or you can just send a card. So you can see Starbucks gift cards, Amazon gift cards. Maybe they're remodeling. Maybe they're shopping for new furniture. There's Home Depot gift cards. So you can really cater this to anyone. This is the card, what it looks like in the front. And then as long as you have a full address with a zip code in your database, all you do is hit send, and it sends the card for you. You can also schedule a card. So for example, if you close today on a property and you say, well, a year from now, I would like to send them a happy anniversary on living in your property for a year card, you can schedule it to go out a year from now. So I would say this was also a game changer for us. We talked about follow-ups, SOPs, appreciation marketing. I could talk about the CRM and things that you can do for days, months. I have led workshops and webinars and spoken about CRMs for hours and hours and hours. So I just wanted to give you kind of like a little snippet today of a few things that you can just implement that will be a game changer. I created a course to have an amazing CRM. This is everything that we did for Aaron's CRM when he was selling real estate. It includes how to put in campaigns, how a TC would manage her transactions in the database. And it goes through the appreciation marketing, how to implement that, checklists, all of that. It goes through everything. If you are an elite builder, this is part of the partnership, so you have this course for free. So don't buy it, Elizabetta, if you are already a part of the team. You get this for free. Listen, if you ever come to me and say, Gabriella, can we jump on a call? I want to ask you questions about a CRM. I am always happy to help. I often shoot little videos. Oh, you want to do that? This is how you do it. Boom. And I send it to you. do not hesitate. You all have my phone number. I texted you all for this event. You can always reach out to me. Any questions before I hand it over to our next presenter? Yes.
So I use KV code Bold Trail. Can this be done on that, or does it need to be a follow-up boss?
So Bold Trail, it depends.
Okay.
If you have it through EXP, they give you kind of like a smaller version of Bold Trail that's not as easy to adapt.
Okay.
And but yes, you can definitely do it with Bold Trail. Most CRMs work exactly the same way. The great thing about Follow Up Boss, though, is that it's an open API system, which means you can integrate different programs really easily into it. So, for example, the AM cards is a different company that can easily be integrated into Follow Up Boss. Many CRMs don't have that system, so you can't really integrate other things, but you could still use AM cards just separate. The great thing about Follow Up Boss is it becomes kind of like the hub of all business. Everything's in one place. So you don't have like a fractured system, which is something that we struggled with too. Before I came on board, we had like everything in the Google Drive and, our checklists and maybe like a Trello or, so you had to kind of go to different places to do different things, where in Follow Up Boss, it seems like you could do everything in one place and you can kind of build your business in it. But I'm not an expert in Bold Trail. You could definitely
Neither am I.
reach out to their support and ask them, hey, how would I build out my workflows in Bold Trail triggered by stages? And they could give me a step-by-step on how to do that. And they might say, we can't. And then maybe you say, I'm leaving. I'm changing, or, so it's up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about smart lists, workflows, appreciation marketing, or the CRM? No.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
So do you know GoHighLevel? Have you worked out with that before?
I have.
Is it good?
Okay. So
I know it's complex because I saw the illustration. You can do so much, and I think that's what's the problem is.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as it looks like.
So we use GoHighLevel. We use GoHighLevel because it is the hub for all of our courses, our funnels, our website. We use it because it connects to social media.
I was gonna say that.
So we do a lot of chatting through Instagram and Meta through GoHighLevel. It is a great resource because it is very inexpensive to do lots of website and funnel building and things like that. I would say that for a CRM, it is like using it as your main CRM is like pulling out your hair a little bit, because it is such a complex system that you can do so many things, and it's easy to kind of just get overwhelmed. So I would say as a CRM, I wouldn't use it. As a place, if you're building funnels, courses, your website, and I would also say if you're doing that, you can hire a specialist to help you build those funnels and things like that through GoHighLevel. And that's exactly what we did. We have an amazing specialist. I say to this amazing woman, she is, by the way, all the people on our team are ladies. So I say to her, let's flip this funnel for our women's event. I give her all the pictures, and she flips the funnel. She gets the automation going. She does everything for me. But I wouldn't use it as my CRM.
Yeah, because I
Unless you have some help.
Yeah, that's what it says. It's like you're gonna need the help just to start, but once it goes through, it's fantastic because of the funnels, because you can have all the social media LinkedIn, and you can target, investors in LinkedIn and just funnel everything, start a conversation right there.
Yes.
That's
So I would
so
say
it's another level.
GoHighLevel is fantastic. It's on another level. If you do use it, definitely reach out for help or get somebody on the team that's an expert that can help you do whatever you need to do. If you are just starting and you want a really simple CRM, something like a follow-up boss is probably easier.
Okay.
Any other questions about CRMs? Fantastic. Melinda, you're gonna jump in. Okay, next up we have Melinda.
Yes. You don't have anything? Do you wear?
Can you just pull up my Instagram? So that's a weird angle on the screen here, you know? It's like,
You want to put? You can put it.
so I'm gonna be walking, so can you put
Okay.
it a little higher? So I don't really need to see the screen. Anyway, it's fine, doesn't really matter. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Nice to see familiar faces, new faces. There's many of you I haven't met before, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Melinda Grimmaldi. I'm a real estate and title attorney, estate planning attorney. This is my building. My office is on the 7th floor. And so, we help people buy and sell finance real estate, of course. We help people protect their investments with a good estate plan. We deal with probates if they don't. But kind of one of my favorite things to do is speak to women. So I'm so excited. Thank you, ladies, for inviting me. Thanks for coming here and using my space, because it's kind of one of my sweet spots of helping women believe in themselves. And so does this tie into real estate? How does this tie into me being a lawyer? Well, over the 17 years of me having my own business and evolving into a business owner, into a mom, and all these things, I had to do a lot of personal work. And so I'm going to share with you guys a few things that I think tie in well with the theme for today and what the other speakers are going to be talking about. Because at the end of the day, doing the hard things and the projects that are foreign to us, dealing with sales and asking for the business and creating an infrastructure to help you get more done, which I believe is where you're going to be going with your talk. Those are all wonderful, but if our mind's not right, then we won't get there. We won't do the hard things. We won't ask for the things that make us feel uncomfortable. And so the first place we have to go with all of this a lot of times is how we speak to ourselves. So we were talking about the 5 love languages. And one of those love language is words of affirmations. And so I want you to, instead of like looking at the love languages going out, I want you to think about that particular love language going in, and how we speak to ourselves. Because as we are building, as we are growing, and as we are growing families, how many of you are moms? Can I get a show of hands? Okay, so many. We're daughters, we're wives, we are, part of the community, and there's a lot of things pulling at us all the time. And I don't know about you guys, but for myself, many of those times when I feel it, I'm being pulled in many directions, we feel like we're letting one of the other ones down. Like I can show up today here, right? But have these other things going on. I have my kids. I had the allergist calling me just a few minutes ago because I got to take my kids for this or that. There's so many moving parts, and we create a lot of pressure on ourselves to live up to our random expectation that was not created by yourself. And so these things stuck out at me today, like a few things, like the word, I had like a little list of things I want to say, but like the words of affirmations is like, how are we speaking to ourselves of how we want to show up, right? And choosing how we want to show up and choosing what's important to us. Has anyone ever read the book, The 4 Agreements? Okay, a few of us. I encourage you, it's a great personal development book to pick up that book. But one of the 4 Agreements, it's from Don Miguel Ruiz. It's abstract, maybe in some ways, but if you just get down to the 4 agreements, one of them is being impeccable with your words, not using your words against you. And so I invite you to read that book and to develop that thought. But we want to use the words to support ourselves. So before, when someone said, she owns this building. Well, no, not yet, right? Because we don't want to create words in our psyche, in our subconscious, that we are not capable of doing things, right? Maybe it's not this building, but I'll own another one day. It's coming, it's in my future. I plan to build that portfolio. And so why I bring this up to you is that today, as we go through, we're going to learn so many things. We're going to think about all the things we have to do, all the things we want to do. And sometimes that feels overwhelming. And they're like, you know what? I don't understand the tech yet. And so just as we're going through today, careful with how you think, careful with what's going in here, or maybe being said out loud. We like to joke about ourselves sometimes when we feel uncomfortable. Oh yeah, I'm terrible at tech. I'm like, no good at that. Well, not yet. Right? And it's just going to change your demeanor, the way you look at things, the way you move through things, the way you hear things, if you change that. So, all right, everyone here a full-time realtor? Or maybe you have other jobs, plus full-time mom, wives, daughters, siblings, all the other things, right? We are, well, I don't know about you, but I am working all the time, a lot. I mean, in one way or another, we're showing up. And it's very easy for us when we're in that space of showing up here and showing up there and in this hat and that hat, that we feel like we're letting one of those departments down. And we feel that for a reason that is not our own, because we are taking someone else's definition of success. What does it mean to be a badass businesswoman? What does it mean to be a top-level realtor? What does it mean to be a good mom? I think that one's a very touchy one, right? Because that one, there's so much expectations in society as to what a good mom is. And so I had lots of internal battles about this over the years. I've come to a place now where I have my own definition of what a good mom is. And for me, a good mom is one thing, and maybe for you, it needs to be something else. Or for you, showing up as a good wife or as a business owner is going to look different. And so I invite you all today to take a few minutes and define what success looks like for you. What does success look like for you? Because then you could hold yourself up to that standard that you want to build up towards. For me, success this year is building up an infrastructure in my team upstairs so that I can be home by 4:00. And I'm almost there. I'm like really, really close, right? It's not actually, yes, we're going to grow revenue-wise and profit-wise. But for me, it's making sure that that can be maintained and I can be home to like double check homework, be home for dinner, go for a walk, play pickleball, or whatever they want to do. Right? And now we're going to have summertime. I want to take some time off. That is to me what business success looks like, although it's tied to my personal, right? And so what is it? And then let's give another example. Definition of what is a good mom. I know this, for me, that's a touchy one. And one I had to work through a lot because it created a lot of guilt in me, but the guilt wasn't from what I created. I created this standard for myself that was so unattainable. So before I had kids, I was the friend that made the fancy cakes for all my friends' kids' first birthday. My kids never got the cake because by then I was like too busy at work and I was like a mom and like hormonal and like all the other things going on, right? And I was like, no, but I always thought I was going to be like the classroom mom, and I always thought I was going to be like that Pinterest mom because I'm very creative with those things. But honestly, right now, that's not that important to me. And so that pressure that we put on ourselves for these weird expectations that we thought like in a different time when we didn't know how it was going to feel or how it was going to look, right? It creates pressure for no reason, for like things that don't really matter, right? So now I'm not the room mom. I don't do the volunteer hours. I'll scratch a check because that's not as important to me as being the mom that takes a day off to go on the field trip, because that's what excites my kids. And so designing your life is really important as we show up, and being mindful of what's happening in our thoughts. The easiest way to stop judging yourself, I found, is to stop judging others. we're so much kinder to other people than we are to ourselves. And so sometimes just slowing that down, that conversation, and being mindful. But we're so busy all the time that we let our thoughts run crazy. So what is your vision? Take a few minutes. Let's write that down. I don't know if anyone wants to share anything. I mean, at the end of the day, we could be here and talk and like take notes, but if we don't take a step forward, and you're gonna leave, and okay, now the notebook. This is like my notebook that when I go to events, or like this is my fresh one. It's like, okay, I want to check things off. What am I going to implement? What am I going to do today? I am going to get AM cards probably synced with my HubSpot. Like, I'm sure there's an integration. Like, duh, this is so simple. You know, like what are you guys going to take away from today? And I hope that for today, for at least from my little talk here today, I hope that you make your own definition of what it looks like. And your definition can change. It's not hard lined. But pick what your definition is, create some boundaries for yourself, pay attention to how you're thinking, how you're feeling. Because at least for the moms, I'm going to speak on this one more time because it's just, what do children need from us? Who has little children, like minors? Okay, so half of us. But even for adult children, what do they really need from us? They need to feel loved. When they're little, they need safety and they need to be fed and those kind of things. But you know what the best question is? And this happens, this is the same thing for your parents, for your siblings. Like, what do you need me to do more of? Have you guys ever asked your children that question? I asked my son, recently I was having like a moment where I was like feeling guilty. So I asked my kids, what do you need mommy to do more of? Nothing. What do you need mommy to do less of? Nothing. Oh. Okay, so we're good. Like, I mean, their needs are being met. I've asked them that question. Now I have needs though, right? As a mom, like I want to do something different to satisfy my need of nurture or, love or what I want to give. And so that's something that now I know, okay, how do I want to change that? Same thing with our parents, same things with our, is asking those questions and then seeing how that fits into your life. Because a lot of times we create these like big, crazy burdens on ourselves that don't even exist. It's just all in our head. So just like in work, we can't micromanage our teams. We can't micromanage every portion of every relationship. And so we just got to choose how we show up. That's what I have for you guys today. So short and sweet from the heart. I don't know if anyone has any questions or things they want to share. Yeah.
I just want to tell you, as a mom of 22-year-old twins.
Yeah.
And when they were young, I was really in the
thick of it.
Thick of everything. They were born in 03, so it was just after before the crash and the whole thing. And I felt I wasn't there. I turn to my kids now as adults, and I've said to both of them, I've got a girl and boy, and I said, what do you have? What kind of memories do you have of your childhood? Was I there? Do you feel that I did anything wrong? Could I have done anything better? And said, no, we had the best childhood. So don't sweat it.
Yeah, really, we create these.
You do. You create it in your head, and I'm telling it. You're there, whatever it is you're doing, they appreciate it and they know it.
Yeah, so true.
I would say something.
Yeah.
I have a story to kind of share too. So when I had my second daughter, my second baby, I went back to work when she was 3 months old, and I left her with my mom. And my mom was so happy. She was like, "This is my baby," and I still had so much mom guilt, right? And I'm remembering this time, like I was, at work, pumping milk twice a day, it was like crazy. And one day she texted me, "Valentina took her first steps," and she sent me a video. And I started sobbing at my desk at work, like, "I was such a horrible mom. I wasn't there for her first step." And my boss was sitting next to me, and she looked at me and she was like, "Usually the daycare ladies know not to tell you the first step. They just send Miami home and say, 'Have a good weekend.' And then you get to experience the first step. But my mom, this was like her baby, so she didn't understand that how guilty that would make me feel and how sad it would make me. But now looking back, she's 8 years old, and I absolutely am beyond grateful for my mom for taking care of her while I went back to work. And the guilt, whatever stage of womanhood, momhood, or how much you're working or not working, it's like a glimpse in time, and there are so many of those stages that I promise it will be.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Like this, it gets better as they get older. You're like,
and it evolves. And even for myself, like you made me think of one of my stories, because my mom still helps me a lot to this day. But when I think back, like some of my best childhood memories are with my grandparents taking care of me. And I was like, why am I making such a big deal that I'm like, this is a gift to my children to build this bond with their grandparents, right? So we have to always, reframe how we're looking at things, because they're really not that serious a lot of the times, In any event, yes.
One thing I think I want to add, because I have a 3-year-old, the days are long, but the years are short.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're going through those long days and you're like, I'm never going to get nothing done, this is never going to work, just know you're going to look back and be like, wow, like my 3-year-old's about to be 4 next month. It felt like just yesterday I was pregnant. What was I complaining about? So that's kind of what gets me through those hard moments. Like yesterday when she was crying because I didn't give her her mermaid doll, and like she's screaming on top of her lungs. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, come here, give me a hug. I was like, because one day you're not going to be this little. I was like, and we're going to look back at this and laugh instead of freaking out, losing it. I'm just reminding myself that the days are long, but the years are short. And that's how you kind of get through it and get stuff done and like kind of like keep yourself positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kids are tough.
Try to do that alone, too.
Oh, yeah. You love them, but you want to like,
I remember like yesterday, I had 3 kids. My 14-and-a-half-year-old, I broke the water when I was sending the contract.
Oh, wow.
Vaccine back then. But yeah, now it's 14-and-a-half. The twins is 11-and-a-half. But I learned as well, like you all do, in the hard way. I beat myself so many times, but I learned to trust my kids, delegate. They very responsible when you actually trust them. You give them tasks, and this is like the best thing I ever done. Because everybody now their own tasks, they all report to me, and I'm just checking.
Yeah.
So that is nice.
And so that kind of takes us to my final point, and then with transitions to the next steps, because once you design and you frame where you want to show up as, how you want to become, what you want to be, then from there, we're not doing it alone. Whether it's our parents, whether it's our own children when they get older, whether it's our partners, whether it's our team, it takes a village, whether it's there's kids or no kids, to build something worth building. And so we need to create the infrastructure for things to keep happening, even though we're not always the one who have to do that. And that takes a whole other mindset shift, right? To be able to show up and trust that someone can do it, and create the systems to make sure things are going well, and give the right service levels and do all that. And make sure our kids, take initiative to do their own projects and their own homeworks, and you're just checking instead of doing it for them. Like all these things are important in terms of showing up to be the person we want to be. And on top of that, if you are super hard on yourself, you will not close. I guarantee you that. The conversation in your mind will show up in your sales conversation. And so before I hand it off to the next 2 ladies to go into delegations and systems and sales and closing like a boss, I want to just remind everybody that in addition to closing your deals smoothly and well, I am really good at pep talks. And so if you like this today, this is how I love to help others grow their businesses. give advice, so that's kind of part of we're always growing, we're always teaching, whether it's to the clients, whether it's to the agents, we're always looking to build up everyone to do the best they can, show up as you want to show up. And so with that, thank you so much. You can find me on Instagram, The Closer ESQ, Grimmaldi Law Firm, The Closer's Title Insurance Agency. Take a mug, take a book. It's been my pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, Melinda. That was amazing. Nice.
Next up, we have Idelis. Here, thank you. This is the quicker.
Can I borrow this as a prop?
That was a prop.
As a prop, yeah.
Country column here.
Drink now.
Welcome to 59 Art.
Idelis, use mine. I have like 3 drinks.
Oh, okay. I'm here.
Okay.
Lisa's gonna be like looking at it like I'm thirsty. Can I drink now?
Oh, we wouldn't have had anything if you hadn't said anything.
All right, let's go. Make sure we're live. Amazing. How do I go to the next thing, Carla? Gabby?
I handed you the clicker.
Over here. Of course you handed me the clicker. What's up, guys? Let's go. I'm really excited to be here. Some of you know me. Some of you are part of my community already. I love you, beautiful ladies. Something that is very dear to my heart is just helping women in sales, in business. And I can speak to you guys. Everything that I'm telling you is from my own experience, because a lot of you are closing deals with me, have closed deals with me, and you think I'm like this magical closing little fairy dust creature, and I just woke up like this. But it's actually been a really long journey. And in that journey, it's been overcoming a lot of my limiting beliefs, getting coaching and support, and doing things even though it felt scary and uncomfortable, guys. Because even though right now I can get on the phone and close a deal from the parking lot, from the airport, it wasn't always like that. And I realized that the more money I wanted to make, the better person I had to become. And instead of getting frustrated, objections are coming up in every appointment, I just got comfortable with it. And I was like, you know what? Objections are coming up in every appointment. What's the objection I need to work on this week or this month? And I just got really disciplined in my skills and knowing that if I wanted to make more money, if I wanted to have a better life, I just needed to get better, right? So I love all of you ladies. So let's get this party started. And I'm going to ruffle some feathers because some of you identify with being nice. Let me look at those faces. I'll see if anyone gets triggered.
You're triggering me.
Triggered. So today we're going to learn how to go from being nice to being wealthy. Let's go. Because nice doesn't pay the money. It doesn't pay the bills, guys. So we're going to be covering why being too nice is costing you deals and how to change it. So all of you guys are going to walk away from this with a different mindset. And I'll start off with my story. Again, I didn't wake up knowing how to close deals. So I worked as a buyer's agent for the beginning of my career for a really long time. I did Zillow leads. So anybody has ever done any kind of like buyer marketing here? So the way that it works is the buyer submits their information. They want to see a house. So you got to drop everything, go run to show them the house, because whoever gets to the buyer first gets the deal. So then I realized that real quick, and I was like, okay, I just got to go meet with them. So no matter what I was doing on a Sunday, I remember I was heading to church one day and the buyer was like, I want to go see a house in Homestead. And I was like an hour away, and I was like, okay, you know what? I got to close deals. So I would completely drop everything and go show the houses. And that worked for a while, and I started making money. And then I was like, this just isn't working anymore. Because women, we have really great intuition. You got to listen to your intuition, right? Anytime it doesn't feel right, don't go, right? Anytime you're starting to feel in the relationship like things are just not connecting anymore, listen to yourself, right? In business, it's the same, but in business, a lot of times we ignore that. And we're like, nah, I'm gonna keep doing this, even though it doesn't feel right. Business shouldn't feel painful, right? We shouldn't hate it. You should enjoy it, right? So you need to listen to yourself and know when things just aren't working. So then I made a pivot and I started working with more sellers. What this means, guys, not listening to yourself, not respecting your time, not valuing yourself is time drain. You're gonna feel burnt out. You're gonna feel stressed out. We're talking a lot now about family, right? Your family doesn't like it when you're working 24/7, guys, right? So that extra commission, that extra check, a lot of times is not worth it versus being there for your family and being present. But we forget that, right? And then the wake-up call, right? I did start working with sellers. I started coaching with Mr. Aaron Novello. Anybody here know Mr. Aaron Novello? Raise your hand. Sometimes we just need someone to tell us the hard things that we don't want to hear, right? And he's like, you're being too nice. You're not pre-qualifying leads. You're showing up to meet with sellers because you think they'll like you and they'll do business with you. Now, that did happen sometimes because I'm a really likable person. But a lot of times I was just wasting time. And I was like, oh, if I just meet with them and like they like me and I smell nice, they're going to want to sign a listing agreement. No, guys, it does not work. So then I made a shift, guys. Even after working with buyers, even after working with sellers, I realized that I needed to change, right? To go from being nice to being assertive. And my new identity was a closer. I was going to become a closer. And I mastered all the skills to be able to close deals on my terms. And I never met with anyone ever again, unless they were ready to sign a listing agreement with me or sign a contract. Now at this point in my career, I'll tell you guys where I've shifted and what I'm doing. And I started building wealth at the same time. So let's talk about it. Why can I never click links? Okay, awesome. So we're going to be covering 4 things, guys, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. The disease to please, right? People pleasing, guys, is a disease. Even though the doctors aren't going to diagnose you with like people pleasing and give you medication for it, it's a disease. And it's keeping you from doing more sales. The identity of being nice. Some of those beautiful faces I saw there, some of you guys got triggered. The identity of being nice and how to shed it, not asking for the sale. This is a silent deal killer that most women miss out on. And the mindset of business shifts. So after we talk about all the sticky stuff, I'm going to be giving you guys mindset shifts that you can make in your business so we can start making money and enjoying our business. All right. So let's talk about the hard truths. I got this from Claude. I don't know if it's true, but Claude says, my friend Claude says that 70% of women in sales report avoiding conflict with prospects, even at the cost of the deal, right? How many of you here do not like conflict? Raise your hand. Like counting?
I don't like it, but it's part of, you got to be comfortable with it.
How many of you guys avoid conflict at all costs? There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. All right. So that's part of this being nice identity, right? And the truth is in business, there's a lot of difficult conversations. And conflict doesn't necessarily mean like we're going to fight, right? I'm tiny, guys. I'm 5'2". I'm never going to fight anyone. Growing up, I had my sister. She stood up for me. But it's about having difficult conversations and being able to tell people the things they don't want to hear. And a lot of you guys are moms. Having difficult conversations is part of being a mom, right? So business is the same. So sometimes we separate it and think it's different, but it's not. 3 times more likely to discount our commission than men. Ooh. Yeah. And the reason, number one reason that women lose deals is not because they don't show up to the appointment, it's because they don't ask for the close. You're there, you go and you do your whole thing, and then you don't ask them to sign the listing agreement. You're like, okay, I showed up, they're gonna do business with me. So the disease to please, let's talk about it a little bit deeper. So what does that look like in your business is saying yes to every request. And this works with buyers or sellers, right? If the buyer wants to look at a house at 10 o'clock at night or is texting you at 6 a.m. in the morning, like we're saying yes to that. We're accommodating them and any objections that they have. We're over apologizing, right? Whoever has followed up with a prospect and started the conversation with like, I'm sorry, is now a good time? Am I bothering you? No. My mindset is if you picked up the phone, we're having a sales conversation, right? And if you're trying to get me off the phone, I'm going to continue, right? There's a reason you picked up the phone. So don't tell me that you don't want to talk right now. It's true, right? Avoiding necessary tension. So you're not asking questions around urgency, right? You're afraid to be direct because it feels uncomfortable. And you need to be liked. Prioritizing the prospect's comfort over your own sales goals. Guys, we do not need the prospect to like us. We need them to respect us, right? All of us are sales professionals, right? But we don't value ourselves as professionals. And it took me a really long time to understand that. Because I was like, if they just like me, if I'm just really nice to them, they're going to continue doing business with me. And there is truth to that, right? You have to have a great customer experience. But them just liking you a lot of times isn't enough. The challenge with starting a business relationship based of like, I like you, you like me, is that when it comes time to you having a difficult conversation around price reduction, right? Or something really sticky, they don't respect you because you started the conversation of buddy, you're my friend, I'm your friend. When it comes time to have a difficult conversation, they're like, no, Lisa, you know, we hang out and we have coffee all the time. I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to you. You're not serious, right? So it actually hurts us if they're just doing business with us because they like us. So where does it come from? Now we're getting psychological. I also got this from my friend Claude. The approval addiction, right? So where does it come from? So we learned early that being agreeable means being loved, especially if you're a woman, right? That wiring doesn't turn off at work. How you are in one area of life is how you are in other areas of life. Guys, if you're people pleasing, you constantly want people to like you, it's gonna show up in your business as well. The fear of conflict. Oh, big percentage of you raised your hands, right? Maybe some of my Russian friends over there are not afraid of conflict. Women we're known for wanting to smooth things over, right? It's actually one of our greatest strengths when we learn really how to harness it. Because I can bring a prospect from here to here very quickly and very smoothly because I know how to listen to them, make sure they feel heard and understood, and then we can have a conversation about a resolution, right? If they come at me and they're upset, I don't care. I'm not gonna get defensive. I'm gonna let them vent. I'm gonna be very empathetic, and then once we're here, we can have a conversation about next steps, right? And we can all do that as women. But the initial part of like the conflict and they're upset and all of that, that's what we don't like.
May I take a picture?
Yeah, go ahead.
Another one of the agreements in the 4 agreements is it's not personal.
Woo!
And so it's a really good book for like some meetings. And so when I every no feels personal, it's not about you. So just gotta share that.
There you go, good. And then we're gonna open it up for discussions once we're done with this, but I wanna make sure I leave you guys with a powerful message. And the identity to being nice. Oh, I'm just a nice person, I'm just a nice girl. I'm just a nice boy. Have you guys ever heard the saying like nice boys finish last or nice guys finish last? Same thing. Nice girls finish last too. So if you feel like your identity is being nice, anytime you're doing something that doesn't align with that identity, then you feel like you're betraying yourself in some way. All right, being nice equals not asking. In real estate, it means not asking for the close, not asking for the appointment, right? Not asking for the price reduction. Right? Not negotiating. I do a lot of negotiations. And guess what? The sellers aren't happy that they think their house is worth $300 and I'm offering $150. That's what I gotta pay, Mr. Seller. Because once I go in and I fix and flip the house and I've already bought the house and I'm stuck in the house and I'm not making money on the flip, I'm not gonna call you and you're not gonna give me the money back, right? Right? So the numbers have to work for me on the front end. It has to be a win-win for both parties, right? And win-win doesn't necessarily mean sometimes they get more money. It means that I can solve their problem, the numbers still work for me, it makes sense for everybody. All right, so this is what it looks like, and I'm giving you guys scenarios from like real estate, scenarios that I have had to learn myself. So wasted time, right? So when you meet with someone without setting any expectations up front, what does that look like, right? You're going on a listing appointment. Your friends, you gotta set expectations. I learned this from Erin. Your grandma wants to sell her house. We're gonna set expectations, grandma. These are the next steps, right? We're gonna connect. When we connect, grandma, if everything makes sense, will you feel comfortable putting me to work, right? We think because it's our friends that we don't have to treat it the same. If your friend wants you to list her house and you have like a super professional process, they're not gonna doubt doing business with you. But if you're like, hey, cool, let's connect. Then they're like, I don't know if they're serious. They're just my friend. So what does that look like? Before you meet with anyone, guys, and I do cash offers, and I also do listing appointments. I don't meet with sellers in person anymore, but when I did, I would always set expectations. When we meet, here's what's gonna happen next, and here's what I'm expecting from you. Because I don't want my time wasted, because I value my time. When you guys go to the doctor, I just went to the doctor recently because I have really bad knees. Yeah. From like working out, guys, from doing squats. Dirty minds over here.
No, I was looking at your shoes, Miss High Heels. My knees hurt, but I'm
Gabby's mind went to the gutter. She's like, my knees. when I went to the doctor, I had to sign up, right? I paid $500 for him to come for 10 minutes and tell me, yeah, your knees are bad. You got to go to the PT, right? And stop doing those workouts that you're doing. I kind of already knew that, right? But he's a professional. So then I paid him $500 just to sit there and listen to him talk to me for 10 minutes, right? So we understand that attorneys are professionals. We understand that doctors are professionals. Why don't we see ourselves the same way? Why am I going to go meet with the seller, give him free information about how much his house is worth, free home valuation, potential repair estimates? If you do this and you do that, you can sell the home for more money, and then I'm not going to get paid for that, right? I'm not saying every appointment closes, but at least I want to go and set proper expectations. So if there's a possibility of me getting a contract signed, like, I want to get a contract signed. I'm not giving you information for free. So a lot of us have a really difficult time with this. I did too. Oh my God, did me and Aaron fight about this? Because I was like, I don't want to say that, it's too pushy. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you have to say it. And I did it enough times, and I hit my head against the wall enough times, and I was like, no, I got to do it. So what does that look like, right? If what I share makes sense when we connect, Melinda, and you feel comfortable and confident with me that I can help you sell the home and help you net the most, are you open to the possibility of hiring me when I see you tomorrow at 4? That's it, right? That's it. If they say yes, great. I'll bring the paperwork. If everything makes sense, we can take the next steps. If they say no, I'd rather know now, and then I can decide, okay, any particular reason? Well, because my friends are real, I want to know that before I get there, because guess what? It's going to come up anyways. I'd rather be prepared, and then you can make a business decision. Okay, the friend is a realtor. Let me get really prepared for that objection so I can handle it at the close. Or I can say, okay, I don't want to meet with them because they told me that no matter what I say, if I jump around, if I have the nicest presentation, they're just not going to work with me, right? Like, let's say their mom is a realtor. Guys, you're not going to win the listing over somebody's mom. I'm sorry, right? So then I'm not going to waste my time, and I can use that time to generate more business. The more time you waste on people that are not ready to move forward with you, we think we're being productive, but in reality, being productive means getting back on the phone and talking to somebody else. The discount trap. Oh, another agent lowered their commission. Oh, how much? Oh, but they want to do it for 2%. Oh, I'll do it for 2% too, right? No. So there's different ways you can handle that objection, but
I like that one.
something very simple is, did you know the reason you're hiring a listing agent, a professional real estate agent is for their skills of negotiation? Were you aware of that, Mr. Seller? Oh, no, I don't know. I guess I wasn't aware of that. Yeah. So if they're demonstrating to you their inability to negotiate their own fee, their value, what do you think they're gonna do to your sales price? Oh, makes sense. Exactly. I might be tough on my fee because we add value. I know we do, right? But I'm gonna be equally as tough negotiating for you, Mr. Seller. That's what you would expect from your agent, correct? Yes. Sign here, sign here, sign here. Bye. And the other agent, right? Because it makes sense, guys, right? It makes sense. The other thing, the objection trap. I need to think about it. No, you don't. Guys, they do not need to think about it. Do not walk out of an appointment without handling that objection. Now, I'm not saying that every time you handle it, you're going to get the close right. Nothing works 100% of the time. But the moment I hear I need to think about it, if you are the type of person that's like, okay, I can tell they need to think about it because it's a really difficult decision. No, they don't. When someone needs to think about it, there's something that's unclear. Mm-hmm. And your job is to give them clarity, right? And after you have all that clarity, if they still don't want to do business with you, that's cool. But at least I've left that appointment giving you everything. Is it price? Is it marketing? Is it commission? Is it me, right? But we're afraid to do that because it's a lot easier to like walk away and then you're following up and following up and following up and following up, and then they don't pick up. Because when something's unclear, guys, the prospects are looking to you for clarity. You're the professional. So if you leave them with, I need to think about it, they're not going to make a decision or they're going to make the wrong decision because they need clarity to move forward. So very politely, validate. I hear you. It's a big decision, right? Right? Typically, most sellers need to figure out a few things. Before I go, just like to review a couple things with you, just to help make the decision easier for you, right? Most sellers need to figure out if they're going to sell. Based on all the information we've reviewed today, Are you 100% decided that you're going to sell the property? Or now that you have all this information, has something changed? No, I definitely need to sell. Great, we've already made that decision. What about the price, right? We review what the marketplace is showing us. Are you comfortable moving forward at that price? Maybe it's a price thing, guys. Most of the time it's price. Like the price that you told them, they don't like it. And guess what? That's the price. Because if you guys are doing business the way you need to, you're giving them realistic expectations on price. They may not be happy about it, but we need to like problem solve with them, because what's going to happen is then another agent comes in, promises them the moon, tells them they can sell it for 100K more. They go list with that agent. They spend 6 months on the market. It doesn't sell. So you're actually doing them a disservice. So do you want to sell? Yes, great. Is it the price, right? Is it the professional fee, right? Let's talk about it. Or is it me? Do you feel comfortable and confident with me? Great. We've made all 3 decisions. The next logical step is to put me to work. Guys, that little line right there, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here, listing sign. Just getting comfortable with that means that you guys can make a ton more money in your business. So what are we going to do? We're going to stop people pleasing, and we're going to tell people the truth, even though it's difficult, right? We're going to ask with zero apology, are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to sign the agreement? Any other questions before you take care of the paperwork? No? Great, sign here. We're going to say no boldly. That doesn't work for me, right? And we're going to make sure that sellers and prospects adhere to our process, right? Just had a seller recently reach out to me and was like, hey, I want to sell my house. Can you come on a Sunday? And I was like, Sunday is my day off. So I am not going to go meet with you on a Sunday. So I set the expectations. Here's how our process works. We set up a quick 10 to 15 minute Zoom appointment so that we can review everything together. And if everything makes sense, we can take the next step. So I put them on a Zoom call. Why? Because I set the process, not them. And be unapologetically yourself. Authenticity closes more deals than niceness, guys. People don't want to like you. They want to respect you, right? We think rapport is like, you like dogs, I like dogs. I like chickens, you like chickens. No, rapport really is built when you can ask really great questions and somebody feels heard and understood. Any of you have ever done therapy? You connect with your therapist because they're listening and they're asking really great questions. Sales is a little bit like therapy, a lot like therapy. You have to sit there, listen, be present with someone's emotions. And once they feel like you understand them really, really well, they're going to naturally want to do business with you. But if you spend all that time building all that rapport but didn't ask for the close, then you're not going to get the business. So it's a 2-for-1. One can't happen without the other, guys. So asking for the sale, what are we going to do? We're going to reframe. Sales is all about reframe. So when you don't ask, you're not being kind. You're leaving the prospect stuck in indecision, right? So old belief, asking feels pushy and selfish, right? Asking for the close. New belief, asking helps them move forward with confidence. All right, we're going to say it out loud.
Asking.
1, 2, 3. New belief.
Asking helps them move forward.
There you go. So I want us all to walk away with this as your new belief, right? We're no longer going to think the word pushy and selfish. I hate the word pushy in sales because we almost use it as a cop-out. I didn't handle the objection because I didn't want to be pushy. I didn't want to be aggressive. When someone says they need to think about it, I'm not telling them like, what do you need to think about? Sign right now, right here, right? Right. I'm in your house, sign it, right? That is pushy and aggressive. So it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. And as a woman, we're all really good at validating people's emotions. Hey, I hear you, right? I know it's a big decision, but then I'm going to go into objection handling. I'm not going to walk out of there without helping them work through it. So that's the piece that we're lacking a lot of times. So here are the pivots that I made in my business and how you can build a business that you actually enjoy and that serves you instead of you feeling like you have to work for the money and sacrifice other areas of your life. So number 1, level up, become a killer closer. Number 2, shift from time wasters to motivated seller leads. Number 3, build a life by design. And then number 4, close deals from home and get your time back. Yes, you could close deals virtually, guys. You don't have to meet with everyone. You can actually close deals from home. So level up. First thing we're going to do, level up, become a killer closer. So what does that mean? Like your skills, right? The more confident you are in your skills, the less you have to chase people, the more selective you can be with who you want to work with. So what that means is we need to practice our conversations. We have to get really good at asking skilled questions. Our listing presentation, eat, breathe, sleep, repeat your listing presentation. Your objections, eat, breathe, sleep, repeat, right? You have to get obsessed with this stuff, guys, because every time that you get an objection and you don't handle it, that's money that you're losing. right? I need to think about it. I'm gonna listen to that on the drive wherever you guys are going next. In the morning, while I cook, while I take my kids to school. Like, that's how obsessed you have to be with this stuff. Because once you master it, no one can ever touch you, right? And you can make as much money as you want. And then you can say no to people that don't align with you, your values, and your business. I say no to people all the time. We're not going to be the right fit to work together. Yeah. You're not willing to stick to my process? I want you to show every single house and be here at every single appointment. Anyone wants to see the house? No.
Or meeting without the spouse.
Or meeting without the spouse. Oh my God. My wife isn't here. She works too much, but come meet with me and then I'll talk to her. No. Everyone needs to be present. I'm not going to go drive, waste gas. Gas is really expensive, guys. And waste my time if all the decision makers are not there. Super important. You have to own your listing presentation, which we already talked about, and you want to expand beyond listings. This is really like a game changer for me. Listings are great and I love listings, but there's other ways to do real estate, and you have to just get really good at crafting solutions for sellers. So we do cash offers, novations, seller finance, subject to. So anytime there's a solution or a problem, we can provide a solution for it, right? And some of you have done deals with me or have been in conversations with me, and you know, whatever problem the seller has, I can provide a solution. So what that makes you now is you're a specialist instead of just a generalist, right? People pay more money for specialists than they do for generalists because everyone kind of does the same thing in real estate. We list properties and we work with buyers and sellers. But if you have a higher level skill set, people are going to naturally come to you. So offering creative solutions, guys, cash offers, novation, seller finance, subject to, closing deals that other agents can't close. And I shifted from time wasters to motivated seller leads. If I can tell you guys the biggest shift in my business, motivated sellers, once you get a signed listing or a signed contract from a motivated seller, guys, they need to sell. They have a problem, right? These are going to be the best sellers in the world. Versus the seller that tells you, I want to sell because I want to go from like a 2-bedroom into a 4-bedroom, but the 4-bedroom has to be in this area and have this and have that and have that and have that. Those sellers aren't motivated. So that's why when you're coming to them and telling them, hey, we've got an offer, but it's a little bit under market value, they're not going to sign because motivation isn't there. Versus the seller that needs your help and is motivated, it's going to be like, yeah, where do I sign? Those have been the best deals that I've ever done. So what we do in our business, so we have different channels. We do direct mail. We send mailers to distressed sellers. We also do cash offer ads. We do YouTube, Facebook ads, pay-per-click ads. And then we also have a team that cold calls and does outbound calling. A lot of you guys do cold calling. If you're going to be doing cold calling, it needs to be targeted. It needs to be people that have a big life event that's happening. Divorce, foreclosure, probate, tired landlords, taxes, liens, violations, anything where they need to sell. Because if you're trying to get a listing or a contract in the next 2 weeks, you need to go to someone that needs to do something in the next 2 weeks, right? Nurturing is great, and Gabriella gave us all the good follow-up stuff. Follow-up is a super important part of business, but you have to start off with the right avatar, people that have a high intent. And then, life event targeting, which we already talked about. So what I've done in my business is I've pivoted from just a realtor to a real estate investment specialist. So we actually do deals nationwide. The deals that we do are all virtual. Even the local ones I do virtually because I built my life by design, right? So even if it's local, guys, I'm at a point of my life where in 2 years, I'm trying to have a baby. So I'm trying to create the life that I want before I transition into that stage of life. So what I told myself is, I've got 2 years to create the ideal business because I'm highly passionate about real estate. I love it. Real estate is like my second personality. So I want to create a business that aligns with that because I don't want to be pregnant showing houses or going on listing appointments. Nah. We have a passive income portfolio, which we have through conventional financing and creative financing. And I have a listing funnel. So the cash offer ads are the best leads that you could have right now because they need to sell. They have intent. They're submitting a form saying like, hey, I want to sell my house. But then a lot of times the price doesn't align. They realize that the cash offer is a little bit lower than what they need. And then we offer them the listing. They're already on the phone with you. They built rapport with you. It's just a matter of pivoting to another solution. And you have full control, right? You choose who you work with. You set your own rates. And you don't work with clients that don't align with you. Say no to people. The best feeling in the world is telling someone that's like a pain in the butt, like, I don't want to work with you. Go find someone else. And you can close from home, guys. So right now what our business consists of is we do all presentations on Zoom. Thanks to our team, we actually recently integrated Zoom listing presentations. We close deals virtually on the phone. So we do wholesales, novation, creative deals on the phone. We've actually partnered with a lot of different agents in the community, and we've helped them close deals. And I'm licensed all over Florida, so I actually list homes in different parts of Florida because I meet with the sellers on Zoom. And we're closing deals nationwide. I never see these houses, which is the best part. We have obviously a process behind that. We send someone to take pictures. All of that we've got handled, but I never see any of the houses.
We just closed a deal in Sarasota today.
Guess what? I never saw that house. Yeah, so we have a deal in Sarasota that I've never seen the house. Gabby referred that lead over to us, and we're about to close, and I've never seen the house. So these are deals that I've done outside of here. I wanted to show you guys that it was possible to do deals in other areas. So we're doing deals. We've done deals in Orlando, Louisiana, New Jersey, Branson, Missouri. I have no idea where this is. Jacksonville, DeLand, Florida. And then we have a bunch more, but I just wanted to show you guys addresses that we're local. And we're helping others win and close deals, right? And there's different ways that we're helping people win. We're helping them get more listings and also tap into the investment side and do more deals that way. So, leaving you guys with a quote here. You don't have to choose between being kind and being powerful. The world needs bold women who ask for what they want in the boardroom, in the sales room, and everywhere. Love you guys. Open it back. Take a picture of that.
Is that Claude or is that you?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's you.
In the bedroom? Carla, I know where your mind's going. Well, there too. There too. Come on. We gotta have a balanced life. Yeah, so for those of you guys, I'll stay on and answer any questions that you have. You guys can scan. If you're part of my community already, don't scan it. If you're not part of my community, if you scan this, we will send you 3 scripts that I use for Zoom listing appointments, for cash offer leads, everything that we use in our business. And then I'll jump on a Zoom call with you and just see how I can support you in your business on either side. If you want more listings, if you want more creative deals. So submit your info and then I'll support you. All right, I'm opening it up for questions, guys. We talked about being nice.
I wanted to ask, how is that you have all these listings and you don't see the property? Because I get people asking me all the time, well, how are you going to sell my house if you don't come here and see the neighborhood and the neighbor's house and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so you set the process of how things work. Like, hey, first steps is we set up a Zoom consultation. I'm going to ask you very detailed questions about the property condition. We'll review the analysis, and then by the end of that call, you know what's the most you can get and what I'm going to be doing to help you net the most.
So that kind of helps build your listing appointment, I guess. Then you present to them your findings.
It's just an objection, right? So a lot of times the reason we don't get listings or contracts signed is because we get in our heads. So I want you to let go of that belief. And sometimes it takes seeing someone else doing it to have that belief, even for me. So I went on a leadership retreat with Carla, Aaron, Gabriella, and Jessica, and she's doing it in Texas, and she's doing Zoom appointments. And I was like, what? So then I had to take her belief, Aaron's belief, just own it for a little bit. And then I did it enough times until that belief was gone. Because in the first couple of appointments, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But I knew somebody else was doing it. So I was like, okay, they're doing it. I can do it too. So you have to believe it. So when that belief comes up, when the prospect's like, oh, but you're not going to see the house, you know how to handle that objection. Yeah, so the next part of the process is we are going to go ahead, take a look at the house, get professional pictures done. Take a look at the house, get professional pictures done. Doesn't mean that you have to go take a look at the house. You can send someone from your team to go take a look at the house. And sometimes they're like, oh, are you local? Hey, I actually work for EXP, which is a nationwide company. So I actually have partners nationwide that I work with. Next question. So you see how I don't linger on it? But it's the confidence in which you deliver the information. Yeah. Hey, cutie. Question?
Yes, I do. My first question is, are you sharing this house?
Yeah, I'll send that to you. Yeah, everybody wants the PowerPoint.
Everybody's email, so I'll send out all the slides.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So that was my first question. And my second question is, you said something that was pivotal for me when you said you don't get stuck in frustration. how do you pivot your mind when you deployed all of the things and the things didn't pan out? How do you move beyond frustration personally? How do you have that mindset shift that allows you to sit at the desk and do it again?
Yeah. And that's the tough part about being an entrepreneur, being in real estate, is that it is hard, guys. Because I show you guys kind of like the good stuff, but I've been on the phones for hours and hours and hours. So I read a really great book, and I'll send it to you, Tosana, that was called How to Suffer Well. So you realize, you realize that like things are going to be hard no matter what you're doing. And then you just have to accept it. And once you accept that things are hard, you're not as frustrated by it. Because it's the fact that someone isn't picking up the phone isn't hard. It's our internal belief around it, right? Like, because then you start telling yourself, like, I'm never going to succeed. People aren't picking up the phone. When you think about it, all that has happened is someone didn't pick up the phone. But we created this whole story behind it. And that's where the problem lies, is like the stories that we create. I've done a lot of like personal development, a lot of coaching, right? A lot of like what you're doing here is really important. It's getting out of your comfort zone and putting yourself in rooms with women that are like amazing, right? That you can connect with, like talk to them and get their internal beliefs. And eventually you start believing it yourself, right? It's not something that happens overnight, but knowing that things are going to be hard, it always takes longer than you think it is. Like I want to be a billionaire because I'm like highly ambitious, right? I'm not there yet, right? But I know things take time, and I'm just like willing to stay the course because I know like I'll never go back to working for someone else. And when it did get really hard in real estate, I did have conversations with myself, like pity parties, like, oh my God, this is really hard. But then like what I've learned is have your little pity party because it's okay. Go to sleep, and the next morning wake up and it's a brand new day. Because maybe that day your like energy wasn't there. We go through difficult things sometimes, but the next day is a new day. So like I completely forget what happened yesterday. And like, I'm here. Let's talk to these sellers. Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. Yeah. All right, awesome. Any other questions, my ladies? Something really important is to ask questions, right? Ask questions because we don't, even here, it's a reflection of how we show up in other areas. So if there's anything that came up for you that I can support you with, ask questions.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Even the title of the PowerPoint is amazing, right? That takes reframing. So there's like a shattering. There's something that you have to do to shatter that old mindset in order to adapt, even if it is taking on someone else's mindset until you can do it for yourself. How did you shatter that old mindset in order to show up in this new one?
Yeah. Honestly, first comes the awareness around like the things that you do. If you don't have awareness around that, we're kind of like walking around with blindfolds. Now you know that being nice isn't going to serve you. So anytime you catch yourself, you just have to have awareness around it and like pivot. And eventually you do it enough times that then you don't do it anymore, or it comes up like every couple of months. So now I just need you to have awareness in your conversations, because I know you call a lot of sellers. When the sellers are trying to get you off the phone, am I listening to them or am I continuing the conversation, right? When they're giving you limiting beliefs, are you letting them sell you or are you selling them? Because someone's always selling somebody else. Awareness starts first, and then you have to pivot in the moment when it comes up, and then you just have to constantly keep doing it.
Just keep doing it, yeah.
That's it. It still comes up for me, right? Like,
I kind of want to add on to that, but because I went through it recently where you can't be hard on yourself either, where you feel like you got to do it all at the same time. Just pick one little thing and stick to that little thing and like start developing that habit, and then it becomes habitual. And then you're like, okay, I'm cool with this one. Let me work on the next one. Let me work on the next one. And before you know it, 2 years down the line, you're like, wow, I am from here. So that's what I really recently went through. And I was just like, I felt like where I wanted to be was so far. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just work on this one thing. Let me, instead of eating snacks at night, let me just put the snacks away. I'll still eat how I want to eat throughout the day, but like, and those little things start affecting your work habits, how you show up as a mom, how you show up as a business owner, how you show up as a sister, or if you're a wife or a friend, like all those little changes, whether it's for your health, your sales calls, or all that, just start with something small that you know is very manageable, and just start there, because it takes like 21 days to create a habit. So before you know it, time flies. You created all your healthy habits a little step at a time, like the ladder approach.
I love that.
So you wanted to make all the time habits.
Oh yeah,
It's awesome. That's exactly atomic habits.
I love that. Awesome. So I'm going to wrap up because Miss Carla got to go. But I'll leave you guys with this, and that was really good advice. I appreciate you sharing, Priscilla. You're not going to work on all areas of your life at once. So what I did do was 30-day sprints. So figure out what's hurting you the most right now in your personal life or in your business. I love to read, so I would read like a lot of books on it and take down the things that were like good for me. So 2 really good books on this, which I took a lot of the points from the book, are The Disease to Please. It's a really great book, and it breaks down like psychologically why we people please. And then there's another book called Not Nice. Both of those books are really good to kind of like reframe my perspective. So you'll have different areas in your business you're working on at any given time, but you got to do 30-day sprints. So like even in sales, if the listing presentation is the thing you're struggling with the most, give yourself 30 days of just a listing presentation before you start working on something else. If you're having an issue with people pleasing, give yourself 30 days of like actionable exercises to fix that. And then the next 30 days, you're working on something else, but you have already kind of started. So it's easier for you to continue working on that thing from the last 30 days. Awesome, ladies. Appreciate you.
Idelis, there might be some questions in the chat if you want to sit and just kind of go through.
Where's the clicker? This one? How do you go? This is the button you press, the one to the right, because I also have clicker issues.
I'm
always like, which way is it? This
I
one?
think I'm like undiagnosed ADHD.
You pointed to the laptop, not the screen.
I think it's the right.
Is
The
it
right or the left one?
Yeah, but you got to point it to the laptop.
Yeah, you were pointing it to the screen, which did work amazingly.
I'll pass out your flyers.
I'm not quite sure why.
When I'm ready.
What questions did we have, Carly's? I don't think we have any questions.
Oh, okay, good.
We're good.
If not,
Sometimes it happens.
if you guys have questions, you can always follow us on social. DM us. We're always there. So how good were those 3 ladies?
Hey!
Like, I feel like if I do nothing, if I do the bare minimum, you can still come out of here with something valuable, right? Because they were so good. So I feel like the pressure's off me now. I can just, wing it. Anyway, so buy back your time and let's do more deals. Gabriella gave me a quick little intro. My husband and I have been doing business in the real estate business for 20 plus years. I started, when I was 1. Yes, and we've sold over 2,000 homes together. But what you might not know is that I have done every single little piece of this business because I started when I was 21. And I asked Aaron, like, all right, I'm here on my first day. So train me. What am I going to do? And he was like, well, I'm kind of busy. So like, can you just like figure it out? And I was 21 and I had no idea what I was doing. So I've been the transaction coordinator. I've been the listing coordinator. I've taken the pictures. I've put the lock boxes out. I've done the books. I've done prospecting. I've gone on listing appointments. I've taken buyers out. I've done everything in this business. So I've made all the mistakes. And that's great because I can hopefully save you from the mistakes that I've already made. So we're talking about buy back your time, and this is based on a book by Dan Martell. Some of the ladies in the book club read it with me.
We read it. It was really good.
I think Shelly was in the book club when we read it.
No.
Not that one. Maybe Elizabeth read it. Yes, and it's so good. It has so many tools. So this is just like a snippet of some good ones to give you more leverage, make you more efficient in your business. Who's down for this? Say aye.
Aye.
2 of you. Awesome. I need you guys to be excited. I know it's the last presentation, but the excitement that you have learning this is the same excitement that you're going to have doing it. Okay? Turn to the person next to you and say, she's talking to you, babe. That's right. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is my husband, Aaron. He's the one that coached Idelis. So, and I want to start by talking about the pain point. So this is where you're going to start with your delegation. Where is the pain point in your business? For me, it was talking to people. Okay, I'm an introvert, so the most that I can avoid talking to people, the better. And what happened is that I would be doing all the things in the business, minus the sales, and people would leave all these voicemails. So what I would do is I would let them all go to voicemail, and at the end of the day, I'd be like, Aaron, here's all the calls that you need to return. And that not only caused pain for me, but also for him. So that was an easy way to say, okay, that's our first delegation. We need to get someone to answer the phones. So my question to you is, what is the pain in your business right now? That's a good way to start.
You can write it down.
You can write it down.
Oh, they're so tiny.
This is when they were tiny. My kids are now 14 and 12. Okay? And this is us on vacation. Because we didn't have the systems, we were doing vacation while also simultaneously working. How many of you guys have been there? It's not fun. It's not fun. So every time you delegate, you are going to increase your production, increase your leverage, and increase your time so that you can do the things that you really want to do. So what I want to do with you guys is calculate your buyback formula, okay? This is the rate that you can, okay, let's do the formula first and then I'll explain it. So I want you to write down your income.
Write down your income.
No peeking, no cheatsies. And then you're gonna divide that income by 2,000. You can do it on your phone. Income, so let's say your income is $100,000. To make it easy, you're gonna divide that by 2,000. And then you're gonna divide that number by 4. So let's say $100,000 divided by 2,000 divided by 4, that's $12.50. That is the rate that you can buy back your time at. So anything that you do that is worth more than that, you're going to do. And anything that's worth less than that, you're going to delegate.
Say it again, Carla.
Okay. The whole thing.
Math, just some math.
Okay, the math. Okay, so your income. Whether that's $100,000 or $500,000, whatever it is. Divide that by 2,000.
That represents hours?
Yes, that represents hours. And then you divide that number by 4. So that's 4 times your return on investment. That's why he uses those numbers. And that's going to give you the rate, the buyback rate. So anything above that, you're doing because it's worth more. Anything below that, you're delegating. So it gives you an idea of like what your time is worth, because we have high dollar producing activities and then we have low dollar producing activities. And if we spend more time on the low, we're keeping us away from doing the high. Does that make sense? So now that we have that, Gabriella can pass out the first one.
Which one?
The 95-5 rule.
Okay.
Okay. So we've all been this person on the transaction roller coaster, right? You're stuck on a treadmill over and over and over. Gabriella's gonna pass out, just pass it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Separated.
So there's gonna be 2 columns. In the left column is the 95% column.
We might have to share.
That's fine.
No. Why not? Okay.
Okay, so everything in the left column is everything that needs to get done in a month period in your business, okay? And then in the right column, the 5% is you're gonna copy over the things that drive the business forward that only you can do. And this is to kind of get in the mindset of like 95% of your business, you can delegate it. A lot of people get in this mindset, it's like nobody's gonna do it as good as I can. But the reality is that you doing everything, you're not doing it well. And also not everybody has all the skills that do that position well. So for example, I am on the organization side, the operations side, my husband's on the sales side. Those are our skills. I try to do the sales thing and I cried all the time. You know, I prospected, I went on the appointments, but that's not my skill set. My skill set is systems, organization, operations. Like Idelis was saying, her and Kevin. Kevin is amazing in operations and Idelis is a sales ninja. That's why that works so well, because we cannot do everything. So left side is everything that needs to get done in a month period, and the right is the things that only you can do.
Yeah, pens if anyone.
And we don't need to finish this now. This could be homework, but it's just to get in that mindset of like, you can pass up the next one too, because I'm going to move on to the
Can we
next
start
one.
on this side because we lost out on the other
Yeah.
side, the other ones?
It's literally 2 columns, so
I know,
it's
it's
fine.
fine.
It's fine. You can do it on the back.
Oh, yeah, I got a picture of it.
Okay, the other one is the time energy audit. So if you don't have a system, you are the system. If it's all in here, you're the only one who's going to be able to do it. You can't pass it on to someone else. and you're stuck in that roller coaster forever. So the time energy audit is you log everything you do in 15 increments for 2 weeks. And then you kind of put dollar signs next to them. Are they high dollar or are they low dollar? To represent the value of the task. Once you have that, you can highlight the ones that bring you energy in green and the ones that take away energy in red. And this is such a good visual way to see what am I good at and what do I like? Because usually the ones in green, you're good at them. That's what we like. Usually those are your high value tasks. So it's just a way to kind of visualize that, but also a way to get your calendar organized. How many of you guys have a calendar that you stick by that is just like blocked out? Okay, 3 of you. So like 4 of you. So this is really important. Like when my husband was prospecting all the time, I knew that between this hour and this hour, I couldn't bother him. Unless I was bleeding and dying on the floor, don't bother him. And this is how you guys have to be with your calendars as well. But the way to do that is to understand what are the tasks that you need to be focusing on. Otherwise, you're going to be all over the place, and it's so inefficient. So these are some of the old, basically systems that we used to use. We used to have filing cabinets, papers, like these are in the days before Zillow even existed, okay? So we've been through all of that. And it's to show you that Rome wasn't built in a day. That CRM that she showed you, that wasn't built in a day. It was like little increments of adding this and, oh, let's do this. Oh, I went to this seminar and I learned this. So it's just little by little, but you got to start with the basics. And that's just understanding what is your role? What is your role in this business? What am I missing? Because maybe you're missing the sales component. Okay, well then I have to get with someone like Idelis or Aaron to learn that part, right? And I'm going to try to learn from Idelis and not be nice and ask you a question. Do you guys feel that if you had coaching, that it would help you to close more deals?
Yes.
Well, then go ahead and ask the person who invited you today about joining our organization, Elite Builders. I'm trying to close you, okay? I'm trying. So yeah, join an organization that actually teaches you on how to do these things. Because if say you're really good at sales, maybe you need that organizational component, so you're gonna have to delegate that. I just wanna get some, awareness of like where the holes are.
I will say too that, speaking about the pain points, it's not just one pain point at one time. The pain point changes all the time. So when we were building the CRM, it was all based off what are the pain points. Well, right now we're having trouble following up. Let's focus on that. We got that. Now we're having trouble delegating. That's the pain point now. Let's do the SOPs on the checklist. Now we're having a pain point about creating relationships. Let's figure out a way to do that. Now we're having a pain point about campaigns and leads and getting to those leads quickly. Now let's put our campaigns together. Think about what your pain point is now, but remember that as you grow, as you evolve, all the pain points will change, and then you'll have to redo this whole process again. But that's why being aware of the process is really important, so you can kind of be ready. You're like, uh-oh, there's a pain point. What are we gonna do? Like, what are the solutions? What can we brainstorm to fix it?
Yeah, it's an evolution. And you can see why we hired Gabriella as our customer service representative at the beginning, because she loves talking to people. She's very outgoing. She's very warm. But when the old ladies would talk to me and they would be like, how's the weather? I would just be like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. So like we all have our skills. We all have our superpower. Okay. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the 5-time assassins. Each of us has a little bit of maybe a few of these, or we're just like one. And I'll tell you the one that I was. So the first one is the staller. So you sabotage your own success by hesitating on big decisions. We've had a lot of clients like this, okay? Oh, I'm not gonna make a move yet because, it's an election year. You've heard it all, right, Idelis? If you're smart enough, you can rationalize any excuse.
Now they're all filing taxes, so they can't sell because it's tax season.
Right.
That was over yesterday.
Yes, that excuse is gone. They got to move on to a next one. If you are a seller, there's always going to be another excuse, but you're never going to get out of that circle. You're never going to grow. So be aware if you're catching yourself giving those excuses. Oh, I'm being the staller right now. So you can move forward. The second is the speed demon. You make rapid decisions such as hiring the quickest, easiest, cheapest option. Then you find yourself in the same position again. This is like, I'm gonna hire my tia and Hialeah because she's unemployed and she's cheap. But your tia and Hialeah has nothing to do with real estate. She has no idea what she's doing. You're gonna spend all this time training her, and then she's either gonna quit or you're gonna fire her because she's not good at her job. And then you're right back to the beginning. Don't be that person. So yeah, it's about not hiring quickly, but hiring well. Everybody has a seat on the bus. You got to make sure they're in the right seat. If I'm in Gabriella's seat, I'm miserable. If she's in my seat, she's miserable. But if we're in the right seat, we're good to go. The supervisor. You fail to properly train, micromanaging others, failing to empower them to grow and learn. So this is the one that's like, I could do it better myself. I feel like Idelis was nodding a lot on this one. Yes, you want to control it, but then in the end, you're doing 5 people's jobs, and the thing that you're supposed to be doing, you're not doing well, and that's the moneymaker. We like to say that the moneymaker is the plan. Prospect, lead follow-up, go on appointments, and negotiate offers. Everything else is just servicing. So if you don't have someone doing the plan, your leads or your business is going to go down because that's the moneymaker. So Gabriella's CRM is the antidote to this because it makes it much easier to train people and plug them in and not have to be on top of them all the time. Idelis. Okay, this is the saver. You have money in your bank account, but don't understand the value in spending it on growth opportunities. You let it grow like a nest egg instead of investing it in your business. That was me and Aaron. We starved our business. We would take all the extra money and invest it in other things, which is great. But when you don't invest it back in your business, you don't grow. You get stuck. And this is my one, I think the one biggest mistake that we did is that we didn't invest back in the business enough or soon enough. We didn't hire fast enough. We didn't delegate enough soon enough. And it would have grown a lot faster and it would have been a lot more enjoyable without so much burnout if we would have done that from the beginning. But in your mind, you're like, oh, this is an expense. But it's not, it's an investment. The thing that makes you the most money is not that deal that pays you $1,000 a month, that may be like a flip or whatever. The thing that pays you the most is your business. So investing back in the business is where you need to focus. And that's where we went wrong.
I will say though, yes, they took a long time to hire and delegate. But one thing that Aaron always did was invest in coaching.
Yes.
And because he never listened to anybody else. You could tell him, this is what you need to do, Aaron. He will never listen to you unless you pay a coach to tell him the same exact thing.
Maybe some of you have husbands like this.
So he always had a coach. He had a real estate coach. He hired a coach to show him how to do social media. He hires coaches, when he was making moves about brokerages. He hired a life coach to help him do the move, what to expect, because he always talks about, like, if you're going to take a trip to the Amazon and you're like, I want to, explore the Amazon, are you going to hire a guide? Or are you going to just wing it? And if we might survive, but we might be like bit by like a poisonous, spider and eat like the poisonous berries and, drown, whatever it is. So yes, you guys took a long time to like hire assistants and delegate, but when that pain point happened, when, it hit, there was always like a coach of, okay, how do I do this?
Yeah, and Idelis is a great example. You said that you were fighting with Aaron all the time, like, I don't want to do that. But if he didn't push back on that, you probably wouldn't have gotten there if ever, maybe you would have gotten there later, but you may never have gotten there. So you need someone to kind of.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the harsh reality. Sometimes our parents don't have the difficult conversations with us, and then a coach can come in and tell you like you're people pleasing or you're being too nice. So like that's the harsh reality. Sometimes your parents were too nice to you and just didn't tell you what you needed to hear, and the coach is like, you're paying me to tell you this, so I'm gonna tell you this.
Yes, and you should know right away when you hire a coach and that coach is just like, you can do it.
It's not
You're
the right
doing
coach.
great. You're awesome. It's not the right coach. It's not the right coach.
It's true. You said it was a lot like therapy. The real estate business is a lot like therapy. Coaching is a lot like therapy. We just need to work on ourselves in a lot of ways. And it's hard. And it's painful sometimes. But that's the only way that you can move forward and grow. So let's see. I think we have one more. Is the self-medicator. You turn to food, alcohol, or other vices to reward yourself when you have success. Then you rush to the same destructive activities to escape failure or pain. Obviously, this is easy to see how this could, spiral into something horrible, like addiction or anything like that. And I think that the one antidote to this is keeping an unemotional viewpoint of business. Like, I think it was Idelis or it was Melinda. It was like, it's not personal.
I think it was Melinda.
Yeah, it's not personal. And there's going to be a lot of highs and there's going to be a lot of lows. And if you're going to be turning to something, at least turn to something productive. Maybe exercise, maybe the church, something to ground you to keep going.
I think also with the real estate business, this is really easy to do because of the way that deals happen, right? So sometimes people do a really big deal and they get a really large influx of money and they're like, I'm going on vacation, I'm buying $1 million house, I'm, doing all the things that I wanted to do, and they forget that they have to stay on their plan and they have to keep, doing those activities that bring in business, and then they become not necessarily food, alcohol, drugs, gambling, but it's kind of the same, like dopamine hit of like, I get this big influx of money, but I didn't really I'm not weathering the storm. I'm not saving for the winter. And we see this a lot with coaching clients that need a little bit more structure to their business so that they can kind of avoid that like dive.
Yeah, overconsumption is another vice.
Right.
And a lot of agents you see on Instagram, on social media, who are like in front of the car on the vacation, we invite them to a leadership retreat and they're like, oh, I can't pay. I don't have money for that. So it's all fake. It's all fake what these people are putting out there to be like, look at me, look at me, look at me. But Aaron and I, we hear the other side of it and they don't have any money because they don't plan. And it's like a constant up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. And it's from a sales perspective too. When we have that neediness, and it's because there's a scarcity that's coming up that we feel that, if it's not this client, we're never going to make money again. So one thing that they don't talk enough about is like, how do you manage your finances when you're self-employed? You have to always be in a good position and have some money, cash, because that gives you like a level of like confidence when you're going on these appointments. Like if he doesn't sign with me, like it's cool because I've got money in the bank. But the moment you're running low on funds, that's when you find yourself dropping your commission because you're desperate. We're going on appointments that you shouldn't. So money and the mindset we have around money reflects how we show up in our appointments. So like, it's really important.
Yeah, we always say to have at least 6 months of expenses stashed away, and also stash away for your taxes, guys. You don't know how many agents get to the end of the year and they're like, oh, I gotta pay for taxes. Oh, I forgot about that, So anyway, those are the 5 time killers. I'd love to hear if you guys, I know Idelis identified with one, if you guys identify with any of them, or if maybe something came up of like a pain or something that you didn't really think about before. If you guys have any questions, bring them on.
I like to share.
Share.
One of the things I realized in life, in totality, is that you can get addicted to the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You can get addicted to the feeling of when things go bad or just chaos. I'll just put it that way. And if you don't get off that cycle and realize you are addicted to that, you will revert back to it.
Mhm.
So I think that it was a part of one of the topics you brought up. It triggered that for me. It was like, hold on, wait, another thing you can get addicted to. And if you don't stop that, you're gonna keep going back to it. So you have to release that negative mindset, which brings me back to, I think her name is Melinda,
Mhm.
when she said that if you are hard on yourself, you are not gonna close. So it takes you back to that mindset of like, you have to come out of that, it's a word for it, but you have to come out of it, you have to shatter it. So recognizing that addictive behavior is another way you can move forward and release yourself.
I love that. It reminds me of like being in fight or flight
Yes.
all the time. And it makes
Survival
your
mode.
survival mode all the time. It increases your cortisol levels. It increases your stress overall. And that's of course going to affect how you show up for people when you're at a listing appointment and you're trying to, create rapport with someone and you're stressed and internally like, I need this deal to survive, It's going to change how you show up on your listing appointments. Anyone else have any questions or things that they want to
I do
share?
have questions, but I'm not a part of EXP.
Oh, it's fine.
Yet.
Yes.
So I was invited here. It was very, very informative, very great. The ladies are awesome. But I have kind of like organizational questions. Maybe it's after or you. Oh, I'm okay. Shoot it.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a few. So, Elizabeth invited me, so thank you so much. How I heard so many times like team, you choose your team. How's it works with you guys? How do I choose
Team is
partners?
misleading. We are an organization of agents all throughout the country. We're not a team where like we take splits or anything.
Okay.
So you choose a sponsor, which would be Elisabetta. You would go under her. And then by doing that, you'd have access to everything that the organization offers for free, which is coaching with my husband. Idelis has a free call. Jose Luis Morales, who is a big guy in California, has a free call. So there's all these freebies that come with it. Also a suite of free classes, including Gabriella's CRM course is a great example. So it's really an organization, not a team, because when we think team, we think splits, and we're not doing that.
I understand how it works. I have a real estate partner that I currently share. We work 50-50. Is that works as the one in reference to hiring as the one agent, a team, or how that works? But maybe it's more personal.
Yeah, we have a team of two, Amy and her partner that joined, and basically they just have an agreement with each other that like whatever she makes in rev share, they split.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you guys international. That's one of the reasons I choose Cloud Realty and international. From Ukraine originally, so we do have a lot of Russian speaking, Ukrainian speaking. I have a lot of clients, local and outside of the country. Another thing I was going through, maybe possibility of moving to Georgia, maybe with the family because of the schools. I know it's reciprocity state. Would it be possible to have licenses there and here?
Yes.
Okay, so you have who is your closing agent? Like, do you have a in-house title company or attorney who close the deals that are preferred to a?
That is up to you, but since we're here, Melinda is a great option, but that's up to you.
Yeah, and we have a list of
Preferred vendors.
Specific to Florida, and we have really large hubs in California, Texas, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and they kind of have built out their own vendors, and we have this community where we just kind of talk to each other all day. I need a plumber in New Jersey, help me! And then we just kind of here. So
Escrow, do you have access to escrow, right? Or it's with the title company?
it's the same here in Florida. The escrow, the title company.
It's the same.
With the title.
Yeah, some states it's different.
Okay, and the reason question, I guess, do you, but I guess as a company now, it's probably as a closer agent about the cryptocurrency payments? Is that just strictly with the title company closer agent?
Yeah, that's more of a title company.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about.
Did you have it? I mean, I haven't
I haven't experienced that.
Are being
with
done,
that yet, but I heard people already start doing it.
it's being done.
I just wanted to let you know, we are the first company who closed the crypto
Yes.
6 years ago.
6
And
years
We've
ago.
been doing it all along, so we need
So
more.
what company?
So it's completely different. We just love the girls, that's why I'm coming. So, we're an individual real estate company and we have a title company that can share with you, we've done many deals already.
Okay, yeah, that's just interesting because I know it's more and more, I hear about it and I have not seen yet, but I had questions for my even sellers, how to expect cryptocurrency. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the future.
It's so easy because some sellers, I have some buyers who want to pay crypto and sellers don't want to accept it. No problem, we just change it to converted VM monies because in addition to that, you cannot pay to your taxes, your all kinds of fees with crypto. So it still needs to be converted, and that's why you have to have an attorney, professional who done that.
Correct. Thank you.
I'll share it with you.
Thank you for asking questions, because if you have it, someone else probably has it too.
Yes.
So anybody else have a question? Yes.
So given I'm learning this whole thing from scratch because I'm in the whole HR world. So my question to you ladies is, from the beginning, like when you start closing deals, what is your recommendation and how much you invest in the business? Like, is there a percentage that you have always followed of what to invest in the business, what to keep for you, like from the start, like when you're starting fresh? Like, what are your recommendations?
I wouldn't say to start investing from the beginning. You need to invest with income. So first you got to get the income before you even think about investing. So I would work more on systems and also how are you going to make the money? Like how are you going to bring in and convert the deals like what Idelis does? So what is your strong suit? What is your focus?
Erin always says, lead with
Revenue. Yes.
Lead with revenue. So even when you're making your first hire, some people say, well, who do I hire first? And a great first hire is a TC because they get paid at closing. So you have a transaction coordinator. From the beginning, you can always say, this really allows me to stay on my plan. So you can continue to do all the activities that make you money. And then when the deal goes pending, you hand it over to the transaction coordinator and you never look at it again unless you need to negotiate money for whatever reason. And that way they get closed at closing.
They get paid at closing.
They get paid at closing. And then you can continue, with your money-making activities. So, and then think about who can get paid at closing as like a great
First,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's also an incentive for them.
to close the
to
deal.
close it, of course.
Exactly.
And I have a good TC if you need one. Did that answer your question or is it?
Yeah, it does answer, and partially answers it. I wanted to get a better idea, like, if I get my first deal, because I haven't gotten.
When you get your first.
When. I get my first deal.
When, yes.
Take my words.
Yes.
You don't know how much it's gonna be. When let's say for example, it's 30,000. How much of it, like, is there a certain percentage that you go by, that you would put aside for yourself? And then you invest in the business. Example, that's my question.
Well, like I said, at first I wouldn't be thinking too much about that because you need to kind of like get your 6 months of expenses.
Okay,
You
so
know?
focus on the 6 month expenses.
Yes,
first.
first. And then when you have like a steady income, then you can start
Gotcha.
thinking about like, okay, I'm stable, it's steady.
Yeah,
Then you can start investing in the
yeah,
business.
because right
But
now.
always take out for taxes.
Yes.
Make a note of that too, yes.
Yes.
Because right now, I want to transition completely out of, what I'm doing now, stick to real estate 100%,
Well, EXP has programs for like new people. So there's like a fast cap program that gets you going. Like it's like a 90-day program, I think, and they kind of get you going like from nothing. They also have mentorship programs where you can get a mentor, and they take a little percentage of your first, I think, 3 deals. But it kind of gets you like someone holding your hand.
Okay.
And you kind of need that at the beginning. Yeah.
You said ESP?
EXP, the company, we are under Elite EXP. We're called Elite Builders, but we're under the umbrella of EXP.
Got you.
That's our brokerage.
Yes.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm putting two together.
Yes. All right. Anyone else have any questions? You guys have been awesome.
Your guys' information is where?
Oh, you can follow me at Elite Builders Ladies. Okay. And you can always DM me any questions. What other information do you want? Like an email or?
I can email you all the
You
slide
have all
decks
her
and
stuff.
everything.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put them into my jacket, my chat. She's called
Good.
Jackie.
And do your homework, guys.
She
Do
does all
those
my stuff.
sheets. Because I bet you that once you actually do them, you're going to have some insights that you didn't realize.
I'm a sabotager.
Thank you, ladies.
You're a sabotager?
Yeah, I
Thank you for
sabotage
everybody
because if I feel like
watching.
right now, I'm in dry dance. I'm over with the EXP actually, and Aaron, I think Aaron is sponsored by